Hey guys, in this video, I'm gonna give you 3 tips on how to train any dog, but most importantly, how to not train any dog. You can look up all these different videos and books and blogs and vlogs on how to train a dog, but I'm gonna go grab a dog that I've never met before and train it for the first time and give you all the 3 tips on how to do it and also how to not do it and how to fail. Let's go. So as you guys can tell, Henry's very excited. What I did is I just put a No Bad Dog slip leash on him to start off with. You guys can find that in the link in the description if you're interested in the equipment that I'm using. Henry's one of our board and trains. Again, this is the very first time I'm seeing him for his very first session. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna build a relationship with this dog with motivation or something that the dog wants. We wanna make sure that the dog is eager to work with us before we start training and telling him what he can and can't do. So I have my No Bad Dog treat pouch, which has a built-in squeaker in it. Yeah, good. And I have a little bit of dried beef liver. Again, all of the things that I'm using are gonna be linked in the description below in this video. Yes, good boy. So now I have this dog's attention. It's very important as you're starting to work with the dog in basic obedience to get the dog's motivation up. You wanna get the dog's eagerness to work with you because it's much harder to work with a dog that doesn't wanna work with you than it is the dog that does. Yes, good. So you can start talking to the dog. Good, Henry. Good. Backing up, doing basic little mini recall protocols. Henry, come. Yes, good. Not worried about some of the other stuff right now. His attention to this other dog that's passing, not a huge deal. One of the things that people make a mistake on in this process is if you don't have a great relationship with the dog or an understanding with the dog, you've got to be mindful about how much pressure and how much discipline you give them. And I'm talking about the first 5 minutes of knowing the dog. Maybe in 15 minutes, I can give him a little bit more pressure. But right now, he's happy, he's eager, he's seeing other dogs, and we're gonna continue to work here. Say the dog's name, get their attention. Yes, come. Good job, Henry, good. Now, how to not create engagement and motivation using food in particular is Pez dispensing the dog, because that's a great way to start drowning yourself out as a handler. If I have this dog in front of me and I'm just feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding without any work and or without any real work, it's gonna dilute down stuff in the future when I do want him to do stuff. Why would I pay this dog continually like a Pez dispenser to give him diarrhea and to end the session early? So all I'm doing right now is I have my treats and I'm letting him work this out of my hand. Good boy, Henry, come. So now that we have the dog's attention, he's very eager to work. This is all really great signs to start beginning our second step, which is just being a good leader, how to handle a dog. You can go to school for being a snowboarder, but if you don't know how to go down the mountain, you're not gonna be successful. You can think in your head, oh, I have a snowboard, oh, there's a mountain, but if you don't know how to actually do it, like handling an animal or handling a dog successfully, you're gonna be unsuccessful. So we're gonna go over very important handling steps for you and the dog that you're working on right now. So we're gonna talk about leash handling. So when you do have a leash, I always recommend a 4-foot leash because less is more with the dog. If you have a 6-foot leash, it's just more information to the dog. Your communication in the beginning stages of your relationship with your dog is via your leash. Dogs do not understand English, but they certainly understand pressure, okay? They certainly understand body language. They can respond to what information you're giving them, and we're gonna use the leash to do that. Now, as you're handling, you're gonna keep your shoulders up. You're gonna motivate the dog, but not stare at the dog. So here's how to do it wrong. Henry, heel, heel. Henry, we're gonna heel, we're gonna go on a heel. That's wrong for many reasons. Let's go over why that's wrong. As a dog looking at you for information, you have to provide clarity. You have to provide leadership. Somebody comes into a grocery store yelling and screaming, they're gonna look for a leader. They're not gonna look for somebody going, I think I might know what to do and maybe, no. Hey, this is what we're gonna do right now. I want you to call this. Hey, Nettie, I want you to go over here and do this. This is what we're doing. You have to delegate, you have to be assertive. And again, I gave him, I think, 1 to 2 pieces of food already, and we're in business. So you do not need an entire package of hot dog to get your dog's attention. That is bribery, not training. This is your information. If I wanted this dog to go here, how would I do that? Pull, right? This is information to the dog. If I wanted the dog to sit, I'd give them a little pressure up, right? So when we're handling a dog and we say, hey, I want you to do something, we do not want to apply unnecessary pressure to the dog. It'll dilute your relationship and confuse your dog. So right here is an absolutely perfect place to start. My leash is relaxed. People always put their hands up here like this. They start choking their dog out. They start giving their dog unnecessary pressure. They wrap their hands up like this. If you are the guiding leader of this relationship, act like it, period. Shoulders are straight, you're looking forward. Who's driving the ship if you're both looking at each other? Do not repeat commands to the dog. You can mark behaviors as you wish. Good heel, good sit, good down. Encourage the dog, motivate the dog. And maybe at the end they do get a piece of liver. But those are some of the absolute biggest crucial mistakes that dog owners make when they're introducing anything to their dog. They're yelling at them, they're lifting the leash up, the dog's going crazy. Create clarity, calm down. Relax. Nobody wants to learn from somebody who's screaming at their dog, yelling at their dog, fishing for hot dogs. They just want to know what to do, how to do it as easy as possible. So last but not least, probably the most important thing to this video is, what are the behaviors so behaviors for you guys who don't know is, that's things like sit and down and stay and heel and place and all those things. Those are behaviors. When we talk, we say those things. So in the beginning, it's gonna be very simple. 5 to 6 different behaviors. This is a dog, again, that just came into our facility for board and train. So we're gonna start here with the heel work. So the dog at your heels on a loose leash. So we're gonna put the dog on our left side. We're going to tell the dog not what to do, not ask the dog. So we're not gonna say the dog's name and say heel. We're gonna say dog behavior. Henry, heel. We're gonna go forward, inside turn. Good heel, verbally. Heel, yes, good heel, Henry. Very good heel. We're gonna do 4 corners, heel, and we're gonna stop. Then we're gonna go into the second behavior, which is break. Stop, yes, good. Okay, break. Good, so that's the break command. So the break command is as important as any other behavior you'll ever do with your dog because it creates fairness, it creates clarity with what you're doing. The break command is your dog's recess, right? So when you say break, you can do what you want. You can come over here, I can follow you around a little bit, you can be a dog. Just like with kids, there's also rules and regulations. You can go out on recess and play kickball and scream and yell, but you can't take a brick and hit little Timmy over the head with it. So there's rules and regulations to the break. After any behavior sequence, in this case it was heel, we're gonna break the dog after so they can be a dog. We're not trying to raise a robot here. This is a living animal that needs that decompression. But because he's in a break, think of it like a manual transmission. I was in a behavior, okay? So we're in heel, we're in sit, and then I said break. Now he's in neutral. He's not gonna go back into gear or into work mode until I tell him. And in this case, we're gonna introduce the place command. So what we're gonna do, Henry, place. Yes, good place, good. Now Henry doesn't know place, right? He did it successfully. My job right now is to mark this. Good place, good job, whatever you want to use for place. With my dog Lakota, I typically will use touch, but in this case, we're just saying good place. So he doesn't know it yet. We're not ready to go outside. We're not ready to have people over. This is your practice. We're gonna work on this. We're gonna flex this muscle. So when the dog has all 4 paws on, we're just gonna take our food and we're gonna say break and we're gonna throw the piece of food down at the same time. Break, yes, good boy. So as you guys are developing these core behaviors in dogs, it's important to have really clear thresholds. So there's 2 different parts of developing a dog: teaching them behaviors, but also building a good relationship with the dog to make sure they understand boundaries, make sure they understand freedom and how to earn that freedom and how to work through you to get what they want. We do not want a dog out here making decisions on their accord, because that's a great way to, again, give a dog anxiety, give a dog frustration, give a dog confusion. Is it their life that they're running, or are you helping them make good decisions? It's really important that you guys are breaking the dogs at thresholds. So again, when you're putting your dog into a place, this is what I want you to do. Now you can break when I tell you to break. Just because you see somebody that you like, you see another dog, you hear something, they might want to get off, but it's important for you to guide them through. Hey, nope, we're not eating ice cream before dinner just because you like the taste of ice cream. You have to do one and then the other. That's your job as a parent, that's your job as a dog owner, to teach the dog boundaries and also make sure that you're holding them accountable if they decide to say, well, I don't want to do this. All right, the next behavior that we're going to introduce right now is the recall command. So getting the dog back to you. Again, I'm going to go over some do's and don'ts of how people absolutely ruin it and aren't successful, and how you can make it successful each time. So what you want to do is let the dog out. Give yourself a 15 to 20 foot long line. Anything over 30 feet is just a mess. Try to get like a nice 15 foot, 20 foot string, rope, whatever you can find. Hook it onto your leash, hook it onto your collar. Let the dog out. Do not put the dog into a sit and then recall. It creates too much anticipation and it's not realistic. You are never gonna recall your dog in a perfect sit as they're looking at you out in reality. So right now he's out. He's disinterested in me. So we're gonna say his name. We're gonna tell him to come. Henry, come. Yes, good boy. Good job. Target yourself. Pay the dog if they're interested. So if your dog decides not to respond, pop the leash. Accountability is a life-saving thing. If you do not hold your dog accountable for something like life-saving, like the recall, it's your dog's life at stake. So you gotta think, if I ignore mom or dad, worst case scenario is, they're just gonna ask me again, or they're gonna chase me around. Deadly, unethical, inhumane. Please don't do that. Let the dog out. Henry, come. Pop. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Good job, good job, good job. Yes, good job. Good boy. Target yourself. So when I say target yourself, make it fun. Break. Do not, Henry, come, and stand here like a statue, right? Let the dog know, hey, I'm inviting you into my world right now. I want your attention. And you have to be more exciting than what they're into. You gotta be mindful of that as well. Henry, come. Yes, good boy. Yes. Good boy, nice work. Okay, break. Now you guys just saw there, I corrected him over there because he was interested in the camera. So I said, Henry, come. He's like, hold on one second. Now, I didn't correct him because I need to control every aspect of this dog's mind. It's not realistic. I corrected him because when I tell him to come, or when this dog goes home from our facility after his board and train, when his owners say come, we need that dog to come. If he doesn't come, it could be the difference between life and death. It's very important that you hold your dog accountable. And the reason why is because you guys just saw there, I corrected him, I popped him on the leash, popped him on the collar. Oops, my bad, he came to me. I paid him verbally, but I definitely didn't give him food because he only cooperated just a little bit. Kept him eager, kept him motivated, but he didn't get paid heavily. So I just did it again. He turned around, he came right to me. He remembered last time I got corrected or punished, or this person held me accountable for blowing you off. All right, you guys, certainly last but not least is thresholds. So we have our impact crate here. We're working on crate still, but it's important not to let him come out. This is something that we go over in depth. So the reason why dogs become reactive, aggressive, have a separation anxiety is because of lack of leadership. They don't know what to do. They don't have good direction. They don't have good foundation. They don't have good boundaries. I go over all of that in my No Bad Dog Kickstarter course, much more in depth. So if you're new to the game or you just got a dog and you're having severe problems, the Kickstarter course is where to begin. Link is in the description below. Here's our impact crate. He wants to come out, but he cannot come out until I release him on the break cue. Very, very important. Also, I have him on the leash. Everything that we've talked about, make sure that you put your dog on a leash. Do not give your dog too much freedom because they will likely make mistakes. Don't do off-leash recalls if the dog doesn't know off-leash recalls. Don't put your dog into a heel when they don't know heel off-leash. Don't do this off-leash because if your dog makes a mistake, worst case scenario is you put him back in or you ask him to go back in. Hold them accountable with your leash to let them know if they decide to cross this boundary, there's consequences for that, and they simply can't do it. Okay, break. Yes, good boy, Henry, good. All right, that's a wrap for today's video. I truly hope that this brought you value. The No Bad Dog community is amazing. You guys are amazing. If you just found my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave a like in the comments below if you guys have any questions. I always read them and answer them. And if you guys want to support the No Bad Dog movement, we have our interactive treat pouch, we have our No Bad Dog merch, we have our leashes, we have our slip leashes. Everything you saw in this video is in the link in the description, including the impact crate. So thank you guys so much for listening, watching, tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.